At first look, the Garmin ASTRO 430 really isn't that different from the previous ASTRO models. If you're familiar with the ASTRO 220 or the ASTRO 320, then you're going to understand the 430 very easily. It's very similar, the mold's the same, and most of the menu options are the same. But the differences are pretty major. The 430 will track twice as many dogs, it'll track them twice as fast, it comes with 2 major map additions, and it can receive information from twice as many satellites. The Garmin ASTRO 430 is also compatible with 2 new accessories, the Garmin Fenix 3 watch and the Drive Track 70, which is a GPS unit for your truck. The T5 collar is really the combination of everything that we learned from the DC30, DC40, DC50 and into the Alpha collars. And they've really taken everything that was good about those collars and put it into one package. These are incredibly tough, they're very durable, and they just hold up to all the abuse that we can put on them. I would never say they're indestructible, but they're awfully close, and it's just a great GPS collar. The T5 collar is a GPS receiver and transmitter. This is the part that the dog wears. It's picking up information from the satellites, and then it transmits via a radio signal back to your handheld with those coordinates, and that allows your handheld to plot it on the map so that you can see where the dog is. Every 2.5 seconds, you're going to get a signal from this collar to your handheld that's going to tell you the location of your dog. Now let's take a more in-depth look at these changes to the ASTRO system. The 430 is a new step in development over previous ASTRO units. The 430 can handle up to 20 dogs per handheld, and it has a 2.5 second update rate. Every 2.5 seconds, you're getting a new location from your dog's collar. That's twice as fast as the previous models. The 430 speaks a 20 dog language and a 2.5 second update rate. Now that language is the same language that the Garmin Alpha systems speak. What that means is that you can track dogs that are running on the Alpha system, and folks that are running the Alpha system can also track your dogs. This is unlike previous generations of the Garmin ASTRO where you could not track the same dogs from either handheld. So going forward, we're going to have this compatibility where it doesn't matter if you're running an ASTRO or an Alpha system, you'll be able to track both dogs from those handhelds at the same time. The ASTRO 430 also can pick up twice as many satellites as the previous ASTRO units. Both United States GPS satellites plus the Russian GLONASS satellite system. Having twice as many satellites allows you faster satellite link. That's a major deal with these units. You have to have satellite link to be able to pick up GPS locations. And so having extra satellites in the sky allows you to pull from more satellites quicker, and that'll get you a faster GPS uplink. The other things about the ASTRO 430 is you actually have 2 different maps. You have a 100K topo map that covers the entire United States, and it comes with a free 1-year subscription to Garmin's bird's eye satellite imagery. The satellite imagery is similar to what you would see on Google Maps. The ASTRO 430 is compatible with all of the T-series collars. That includes the T5, the TT10, and the TT15 Garmin collars, and that is both regular collars and the mini collars. The ASTRO 430 will also track the DC50 collars, but it will require a software update so that the DC50 will now speak the 20 language. ASTRO 430 is not compatible with previous generations of ASTRO collars, which speak a 10-dog language. The ASTRO 220 and the ASTRO 320 are not compatible with the ASTRO 430. The ASTRO 430 will also not track the DC20, DC30, or DC40 collars. All right, on the front of your collar is your battery life indicator. The batteries in the T5 collars will run between 24 and 48 hours depending on your update rate. The update rate is how often the collar sends information back to your handheld. I prefer running in the fastest update rate, but the downside of that is that it has the shortest battery life, typically around 24-25 hours of runtime. The light on the front of the collar is going to tell you what's going on with your battery as the battery gets low, the color of the light's going to change. You do not want to let that happen if you can avoid it. I charge my collars every night, no matter how long I have run them the day before, because I want as much life on the collar when I strap it on the dog the first time. Takes about 4 hours to get a full charge on a completely drained battery. Now, there's an option in your handheld called rescue mode. Rescue mode is designed to extend the life of your battery as it starts to get lower and lower off of a single charge. What rescue mode does is when your battery gets down to about 25% of a charge, no matter what update rate you're running in, it immediately switches you to the 2-minute update rate. And what that does is it takes just the tail end of that 25% and it stretches it out as far as possible. The assumption there is that if you've gotten down that low on your collar, that your dog is lost and that you are trying to get to him and you need as much time as possible. So that function is called rescue mode. It's a great way if you've got bigger running dogs you want to keep up with. There's really no downside to running rescue mode in my opinion. So charge your collars every night and be less of a concern. Let's take a look at the different parts of your T5 collar. This is your GPS antenna. This is going to pick up the signals from the satellite. Then this is connected to the body, which your body has your electronics plus your battery. And there is you've got a little rubber strap here that holds everything in place, and then you've got wires that run in between the GPS antenna and your electronics. And that's right here. And this piece holds your antenna in place. This is a cable antenna. After a lot of trial and error, this is where they ended up with. And cable antennas are tough. They hold up really well. You actually get two of these with the unit. You get an 18.5 inch and a 22.5 inch. So depending on how big your dogs run, you may want the longer range antenna, or if you've got some closer working dogs, you get away with a shorter antenna. All right, everything goes down here to the body of the collar, which is where you have your electronics plus your battery. On the front, we have this is your power light, indicator light. When you turn the collar on, it's going to flash green. To the sides of that, you have your beacon lights, which on a T5 collar, the beacon lights are designed to turn on when the handheld is close to you. So before you turn the dog loose, if you want your beacon lights on, you turn those on. These are white, bright lights. You can make them glow solid or you can make them flash. And that's great for if you're running your dog at night, allows other people to see your dogs and also allows you to see your dogs. It's a good safety feature if you're running at night. All right, you have your on-off button. And then you have just your regular collar strap. Collar straps are user replaceable. We sell them in several different colors, and that allows you to keep up when you're running multiple dogs. You can have as many different colors as you need. Garmin T5 has what we call a glow collar strap on it. It's a plastic-coated nylon strap. What's nice about these is that they clean up really easy and they hold up. They're pretty durable. They are user replaceable. You can change them out if you need to. This will fit from about a 13-inch neck up to about a 22-inch neck. Go just a little bit smaller than that on the 13, mainly because with a tracking collar, it doesn't have to fit tight like it's a training collar. So there are no contact points or anything like that. So you can go on a little bit smaller neck. You want to make sure it can't slide off the dog's head. But go up to about a 22. If you're running dogs bigger than that, you can actually get an additional strap and strap them together. But that's pretty rare. It's a big dog right there. If you're running dogs that are extremely small and you have a neck that's even smaller than the 13, then you want to take a look at the mini T5, which is designed to go down to necks as small as 8.5, 9 inches. On the back of the unit is your charging interface, and there's a clip that is included in the charging system, and that snaps onto the collar, and this is where your charging plates are. What's nice about this is that you don't have a plug, anything in here. It's a smooth surface, and that way it keeps your dirt and your grime out. You want to watch this. You want to keep it clean. Usually if you have a problem with charging, it's usually because you get some gunk on here. And so I keep an eye on mine and wash them off, and then occasionally I'll even use some steel wool on them if I need to, just to keep the surfaces clean. Takes about 4 hours to get a full charge on a completely drained battery. Your charger interface is also how you update information on your collar. When you get ready to upgrade software on your collar, you strap your same charging port to it, but you take it and you connect it to the USB on your computer, and that allows you to upgrade the software in your T5. It's a pretty simple operation. We show you how to do it on the website. The T5 collar speaks both the 10-dog language and the 20-dog language, so it'll work with several different handhelds. If you're running the Garmin ASTRO 320, you can use the T5 collars alongside any of the early model collars, the DC-20, DC-30, DC-40, DC-50 collars. If you're running the Astro 430, you can run it alongside with your DC-50 collars or any of the T-Series collars, which is the TT10, TT15. The T5 will also work with the Garmin Alpha as a tracking collar only, and it is compatible with both of the mini collars, the Mini T5 and the Mini TT15. The T5 collar cannot be used with the Astro 220 handheld. The Garmin T5 collar is extremely tough, and it's designed to take all the punishment your dog can dish out. And they work great, and they are just incredibly durable. Been real happy with them. And that's about it. T5 collar. There are two new accessories that the Astro 430 speaks with that we're pretty excited about. The first one is the Garmin Fenix 3 watch. The Fenix 3 watch is able to wirelessly pick up information from the Astro 430. It will give you notifications. So if your dog goes on point, your dog goes treed, or if you lose satellite communication with the dog, the watch will receive that notification. And I like the vibration because I feel it on my wrist easier than I do when the handheld is attached to my vest. It's also going to give you direction and distance from the watch. And you have two different options, a lot like the compass screen on the handheld, where you can see individual dogs or you can see up to 3 dogs at one time. And so this way, if you have a dog that goes on point or a dog that's treed, you can look down at your wrist and you can see the direction and the distance without having to put your hands on the handheld. It's important to note that the Fenix 3 is strictly just picking up information from the 430. It is not a standalone tracking device. You have to have both pieces together, and it is a Bluetooth communication, so they have to be relatively close to each other. The other really cool accessory that's coming out is the Drive Track 70. It's got a much larger screen. It's a 7-inch screen, and in the same way that the Fenix pulls the information from the handheld, it will wirelessly pull the information from your handheld. And so when you're in the vehicle tracking your dogs, you'll be able to use a larger screen and see both your vehicle and the location of your dogs on the screen on the Drive Track.